Have you guys heard of Matt Miller? He's not only the guy who paints those amazing portraits of all your favorite heroes in the Liberty Movement and in pop culture, but he's also now an official sponsor of this show. From Murray Rothbard to Ron Paul, Dr. Robert Malone to Darth Maul, Matt Miller's Liberty Portraits has something fun for everyone to spice up your home or office and showcase your heroes. Go check out his incredible work at libertyportraits.com. Grab a print to impress your friends, hire him for a custom portrait, or bring him out to a festival to capture your event in real life in a beautiful and unique way. To find out more, just head over to libertyportraits.com. Once again, that is libertyportraits.com. We live in a new age, and it's time for us to upgrade our tinfoil hats. Operation Tinfoil is a freedom-focused small business and trusted sponsor of this show. Their super comfortable new line of beanies and baseball caps will not only crown your skull in style, but each of these dome defenders is lined with a silver mesh that blocks up to 99% of EMF radiation from cell phone towers, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and yes, even 5G. We don't know what EMF radiation does to the brain long term, but neither do they, so don't be their guinea pig and don't wait around to find out. Get your stylish tinfoil hat of the future today at gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Again, that's gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, Z's, Zers, and everything in between. Oh, that's the wrong button. I wasn't supposed to bring you guys in yet. I can't find the button. What? My stuff has moved. Good lord. Hey guys, welcome to The System Is Down, the least professional show on the internet, where we talk about politics. And
we're in
we
there,
have
dude.
guys
You didn't
on.
bring us in, we're in.
Hey, shut up, Dave. You're not here yet. And we're going to talk about some news today. We're going to talk about some debates. And I don't know who this guy in the middle is, but we'll get to that in a minute. You're going to go out, share this right now with your friends and your loved ones and your enemies. And we'll be right back. Let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
I don't know what I said.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
These were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
No. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
There's that button. Hey, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the show. And, hey, you know, it is what it is. We're not professionals, and that's fine, because all the professionals are liars, and most of them are pedophiles. Anyway, hey, this show, we talk about stuff and news and things, and all my intros have just gone straight out of my brain at this point, but it's fine. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my very most all-time favorite sponsor first, which is, of course, you guys in the Downers Club, like JC, Justin Savoy, Savioy? I don't know. Dave versus Goliath, whoever that is, Matthew Walrus, Danielle, Kimberly something, Catholic, some guy, Gigi Vaughn, Cole, Hefflums and Woozles, level something. If you'd like to get your name on this list and possibly maybe once have it read incorrectly, go on over to patreon.com/thesystemsdown, where you'll not only get more weird, more raw, more offensive, you'll get more weekly content, including the after parties that we do after every single Wednesday news roast episode, and there will be one happening today. And yeah, no spoilers as to who will be joining us for the after party, but it's gonna be a doozy. So yeah, if you want to support the show, there's really one main way to do that, and that's over at patreon.com/thesystemsdown. System is down. Join the Downers Club and join the fun. Yeah. So we talk about news here.
we talk about the world ending. We look outside the window, we have a good laugh at the end of the world, because as the world ends, we have nothing better to do with our time than laugh at it and give it all due respect. And I don't like to do it alone, so sometimes I'll bring on a Dave Casey or two, and sometimes I might bring on the future governor of Georgia, Mr. Shane Hazel. Guys, how's it going?
What's up, man?
What's happening?
Thanks for bringing us in.
Shane, you still got those internet issues over there in the sticks?
Yeah, you know what? I think we're a couple weeks away from fiber now, and it's on the pole. I can see it. It's like right there, man. And so
you guys are going straight from dial-up to fiber. That's pretty impressive.
That's right. AOL. Here we go.
Yeah, Shane, welcome back, man. It's been a while. I had you on, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago. I don't remember. Maybe for a different campaign. I don't remember what we talked about even. But you're doing some new stuff now. You're pushing some even bigger buttons, some Brian Kemp buttons and Stacey Abrams buttons. You want to give us a little bit of an update on you and where you've been over the last few months?
Well, thanks to guys like both of you. I mean, really out there helping, guys like me and teaching us and showing us the way to do, podcasting the right way. Mostly,
except for the intro,
all that fun stuff.
And
I got to tell you, man, like my intro, anytime I have a guest on, they're like, holy shit, who did your intro? And I'm like, here you go.
It's the shadow government right there.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, man. Well, I guess we're pushing some big buttons down here right now. We had the debate a couple nights ago, and just absolutely humbled to be the messenger here. Right? Is been spending a lot of times out doing some really cool things, not only with Georgia, but like just going out and commuting, asking for that signal, and seeing what it is to be perceptive about it, and then bring it into their kind of as the messenger. This is what you're getting wrong. This is what you guys have absolutely crushed in terms of the human spirit. And honestly, kind of a warning. Just hey, gentle nudge. Let's do the right thing here. Let's leave peaceful people alone and do some decentralization work, and really kind of point out the fact that the human population goes about their business pretty well without killing each other when it's not the damn I guess bankers and government and tycoons that are trying to do it for a buck. It's kind of a really nice message to be able to deliver. It's resonated pretty well, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to be rude to Dave, because I didn't really say anything about Dave. Dave's here. Dave, what have you been up to? Shane's running for governor and fighting Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp. You're tweeting?
Dude. I'm hard at work making Shane Hazel content so that everybody sees this, because we're going through some historic shit. So if you're giving me the mic for just 30 seconds, bro, let me use it to express gratitude to Shane, because, bro, that was so fucking beautiful. I watched it live. My girl's watching Netflix, and I'm watching this debate, and she's looking over at me like every couple minutes. Yeah, I know. Absolute nerd. This is how other people must feel when they watch football and shit, right?
It is. It's nerd sports. Like I always do the same thing. Whenever I can catch a debate live, I'm all about it. Don't care at all about sports. My wife thinks I'm retarded, but I'm like, no, shut up, honey. The game's on.
Democratic debate, right? I'll watch.
My team's playing this time. They don't usually play even.
That's it. So I had somebody up there, and I'm very particular about my libertarian candidates. So when I see one that does it right, I just want to shine the biggest spotlight and go, everybody, take a look. This is how it's done. So, dude, I'm sure Georgia is thrilled, but I think I'm speaking on behalf of most libertarians, like nationwide. Like, dude, that was huge. Thank you. And, I'm taking notes and trying to make you seen. And which, by the way, get on TikTok. Because they're like, who is this dude? Get this. 40,000 plays in a day, bro. That little clip, that 3-minute clip on TikTok. So I'm just saying, people want to hear this message, and you just delivered it so well. Thank you.
I don't even know what to say. I'm humbled to death. What a thank you. I mean, I don't know that I have the bandwidth to do another social media. First and foremost,
get somebody on that.
I do. I definitely need to have a staff is what I need to do. I need some money. I need to monetize this whole thing. I've kind of stayed away from that just to keep this as pure message as possible. Kind of a proof of concept. In other words, is like, how far can we take ideas without their shit ass money? And the infection that's pervasive in every damn one of our transactions is really kind of where I've tried to stay at, a fairly low level. So yeah, I guess it's gotten some giant traction thanks to you guys. Thanks for like chopping up those clips. Some of these things have gotten like 75, 80,000 views on Twitter. Facebook's for boomers, so they don't know what the hell's going on anyway. So spending very little time there. But between Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and just the outpouring of emails and communications through whatever, I'll tell you, this is a space where if you do it right, and I'm still here, it'll come back. Right. It's every 30 minutes, bro. It's just I got to upgrade my camera too. Yeah, no, it's I got a lot left to do. And we've got 3 weeks left in this thing, and I think we just blew the lid off of it here in Georgia. There's a lot of people coming out down here, so I guess to have this attention, not only from Georgia but from the crowd that I actually really, really admire for teaching and carrying on the message and standing against the odds, man. Like, what else can you ask for just to be a messenger in all of this? So thank you guys for giving me a place to call home and really put up on a pedestal. Thank you.
If I had one criticism, not to like dampen this circle jerk of love here, if I had one criticism, Shane, your closing speech was about 15 seconds too long, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man, I knew they were gonna do that shit to me. I was just like, "Are you kidding me?"
Like, we'll give you the last word because then we can cut you off and don't have to wait for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, that was. I should have known. I should not have started reading it. I mean, I didn't have my glasses on. I was like, "Oh, where am I?" No, like trying to read in front of a crowd as a Marine. Like, that's Jesus Christ. You're asking for Moses to part the Red Sea at that point. So.
No, it was great, man. I was telling Dave right before you hopped on. It was weird because like I wasn't able to watch it live, but I watched it first thing the next day, and I just kind of had it playing in the background. Like I didn't really know about it coming up to it because I haven't been paying that close attention on it, honestly. And yeah, as soon as I found out about it, I pulled it up and I had it playing while I was working on something. And in my mind, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is Shane giving Shane's talking points. That makes a lot of sense. And like, it wasn't really registering that you were on stage with Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp until like when I actually sat down today and was like, going over the clips and stuff. I was like, this is kind of a big fucking deal, man. It's pretty like the things that I'm used to hearing you say, the rest of the world hasn't heard you say. So it's a beautiful thing.
I don't think the media realized it either to this point where they're still putting pictures of Brian and Stacey up together, and like there's still this one guy in the middle, and they're just like, oh, here, complete Ron Paul moment, right?
Look at this. Look at this. Is on. I typed in Georgia governor debate 2022 full on YouTube, and it comes up with Stacey Abrams Brian Kemp debate. Live Georgia, Stacey Abrams, Brian Kemp face off. I like how they have Stacey Abrams, Brian Kemp, and then just some guy in the middle, who's just hanging out, some bald dude. I think you need to really capitalize on the who is like hashtag who is Shane Hazel, because like who the fuck is this guy? If the debate is between Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp, and there's some guy that just comes in and he's like cutting them off and interrupting them when they're trying to give their typical arguments, who is that guy? Like, if it was me and I was in Georgia, I would be like, dude, that like I would instantly be interested in just the fact that they're keeping you out, they're shutting you down, they're not putting your picture in any of the fucking debate ads or anything. Like it's all just those two plus one. Like you're the just mystery guest.
It kind of proves the point, right? That they're not. The press isn't fair and objective. They're definitely not coming to save you. And honestly, at the end of the day, they will be complicit in the cover-up of your killing or death or anything in terms of the this, I don't know, government going out of its way to do mass murder. I think I think Americans really need to wake up to that idea. The beautiful thing is, I think podcasting has provided that alternative. I think every libertarian's got one anyway. So when we look at the sheer number and size of the media moving into podcasting versus this wholly bought and paid for corrupt ass fourth arm of the state, it's just like it's I think it's working.
Yeah. So what do you see, like, before we get into some of these debate clips, what do you see this turning into moving forward? What do you see the outcome of your, like, all the time that you've put into this being?
Complete silence. They're just going to crush it down to, oh, you remember that Ross Perot guy, the funny guy with the big ears or whatever, bald head, and that's probably what it's about going to amount to.
Sure.
No, I think we've started something. There's a lot of young guys, and that's kind of where I'm going next, man. Is I'm going after the younger crowd to show them, hey, you got a future, and you got to fight for it, man. This generation, there are some of us that are going to try to give you a lift and a push and build you up so that you got a head start on some of these megalomaniacs. But I think that's that's the thing for me, is I'm shifting gears into something that I think is a lot more youth centric, if that's it. And so that's going to be, we got to start building legacy
TikTok,
now,
bro.
because those guys,
TikTok.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not even on TikTok.
You're
I've never
not
been on
wrong,
TikTok
dude.
once.
Dan, you would dominate TikTok, bro. You need to get on there tomorrow. I'm serious.
Dave, I think you might be the devil, but thank you.
Get on there. Sorry, CCP.
You're
You
like,
got me,
you're like
bro.
a CCP
40,000
salesman.
days.
Good
Hey,
job.
Don't act like Facebook's any better with your privacy
It's
or anything
true.
else. Get the fuck on TikTok.
True. I'm barely on Facebook.
That's right.
But yeah. So Shane, as far as the numbers go, how is everything looking? I listened to one of your podcast episodes this morning, and you were talking maybe somewhere between 2% and 5%. Is that still realistic, or where are we at now?
I think we're higher, man. I think this is going to push this thing a good bit higher. If we're probably sitting around 8, maybe 10 after this, and depending on how prevalent and how many places we can get out to in terms of interviews between now and then, man, this thing has got legs for days. These clips are just beating the shit out of the establishment left and right. They're getting ratioed all over Twitter. Like, it is a beautiful thing to behold. So
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't think they're ever going to let us win. They're going to try to exclude us, but I think at some point the numbers, they can't fudge the numbers enough, and that's going to be a problem for them. It's going to show a big hole between what they were doing in their polls and what comes out at the end of the day.
So for the normie listener that's not a libertarian and hears you say something like 10% as being the goal, what is it? Why? Like, I got to ask the normie questions sometimes, even though we're all autistic libertarians here.
I guess let me plug this. Great guy down here in Georgia, Jake Green. If you guys don't know him, Jake Green just completed the documentary Divide and Dominate. It features myself in this run, but it's more or less how the system is absolutely totally rigged. Through legislation for ballot access, through the media, and through the Federal Reserve. And it is a beautiful documentary. Get a lot of behind-the-scenes looks. It's called Divide and Dominate. It's by Jake Green. You can rent it for $5. I think it's going to be on Amazon at some point. But I would ask this crowd, if you want to know really why 5-10% is an achievement in this libertarian space when we're up against a machine that receives tens of millions of dollars a quarter to run for governor versus a guy that's going to get maybe 5 to 10% on about $5,000 worth of campaign funds. The ROI on this is something to behold. It is something to say, holy hell, against all odds, these guys are getting an ROI far greater than anything that these people in the establishment could possibly hope for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So, and you said Stacey Abrams has paid like what, or dumps like $40 million a month or something like that into her campaign, while as you have spent about $5,000 total.
Yeah, maybe at the end of the day, and some of it's mine. So it's, you know, at the end of the day, if we're working off a few $1,000s for a couple of percent, and they are, you know, spending tens, I think her last quarter results were somewhere around $42 million for the quarter. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of propaganda.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know if you guys saw Reed Coverdale put out a great Substack that was something along the lines of like holding Republicans hostage. And I think that 10%, like when you said 10, I was like, you know what you could, our enemies love to say, you never win elections. Like, fine, like admit that. But also admit that 5%, 3%, let alone 10%, that's all the power in the world you need to go, we're running this table. And that's anywhere. I'm in Delaware, dude. That's our plan, 2024 and moving forward. And we're being open about it. We're letting Republican guys know, like, yo, enjoy 2022. Because if you put up these kind of rhinos and stuff, guess who's going to be around the corner, baby? We are. And it's it can work no matter what party is in control of your state or whatever.
Dave for Delaware
Shane's got a
governor.
red state. Bro.
That's right. I'm coming up.
If it's not, you know, somebody's going to be doing it, and we're going to be making a stink.
Yeah.
You know?
Why not you? That's the thing is, why not you? You like, and maybe to all podcasters out there in the space, you are great at articulating libertarian ideas. You guys have these great, massive, you know, brass balls that just clang together, and maybe some insight as when you take the stage with these I'm just going to call them asshats. They are dumb as fuck. Okay, they have all these little talking points written out. They don't really understand why the system works the way it does. They don't even understand that they're Muppets, right? Like, they are nervous and they are scared. I'll tell you right now, I watched Stacy, and the tremor in her hand as she was standing at the podium, it wasn't like she was tapping it.
That's
it was,
payment
she
enough.
was scared to be there. And to understand, you know, Brian Kemp to go flush in the face and get choked up and not have to want to answer something, you know, like, what a really weird place for somebody who, quote unquote, wants to be an executive. I mean, this is the least of your trouble. You're just coming in to have a friendly conversation, you know, where you may disagree. Whereas as libertarians, you're going in here and going to war, and you've been chomping at the bit forever to be able to tell these motherfuckers off. That is a giant difference in mentality of you guys and your ability to articulate the principles of liberty. I'll tell you right now, if you're a podcaster in this space and you know you've got some following, go do something like this. You're gonna make waves. Absolutely, 100%.
But if you're really bad at it, don't do it.
Yeah, don't, please. Stay away.
Watch that.
Just because you have a libertarian podcast does not mean you should be running for office. I'm just going to say. It is not the rule. Anyway, we're guys in the chats. Leave, as Jack Casey is doing, leave your fake super chats because I'm not allowed to take them because YouTube hates you and hates me. But I will take some of your fake super chats. If you put it in all caps, fake super chat, if you have something specific that you want me to read, I will try to get to them later on, but we're going to go through some stuff, some clips right now. Leave it there, and I'll try to get back to it in a little bit. No guarantees, because you're not paying me anyway, so screw you. So this debate between two individuals, Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp, with some guy on the stage, was you've heard a lot about it now. We're gonna watch some clips. This first one is one of Shane's opening opening questions, opening answers on cannabis.
Georgia seems to be struggling right now in dealing with how to legally take on the issue of cannabis in the state. What do you think needs to be done here? How should Georgia address the issues surrounding marijuana?
I guess a perfect question for a libertarian. We believe that cannabis is a plant that grows from earth naturally, and the hubris that the federal government has shown in making a Schedule I drug while also holding patents on it is one of those things where we find it somewhat laughable. And it is. It is a right of people. It is medicine. It is something that we can add to our industry here in Georgia and really displace a lot of what comes in from outside of Georgia. This is a huge win for Georgia. We have a great agricultural sector. We can grow 2 bumper crops of cannabis every year. The idea that it is still illegal and that Brian Kemp has talked about this and tweeted about it as it is a good thing when we make cannabis bust and cannabis bust only is a real sign that the government in Georgia is using it for the prison industrial complex, for the law enforcement complex to go after communities that would like to see freedom in this area. So it's a right. That's how we see it as libertarians.
Right. Thank you very much.
Perfection.
That was the last time we ever heard from Shane Hazel.
He's in jail now.
I mean,
for cannabis.
Yeah. So yeah, like this one, it's great. Great talking points and everything. Way better than I would have done. Honestly, like, not gonna pretend or anything. It's just like, for me, hearing the libertarian talk points is just so common nature that it's very odd even to think about these things in the lens of a normal person watching this. But when I, like, what is the kind of the, I don't know, I'm not from Georgia, so I'm not voting for you. But what is kind of the cannabis stance down there? Are they more on the conservative end as far as that goes, or what?
So even conservatives down here are all for cannabis, and so what's transpired in the legislature down here is the fact that we have some cannabis ability to grow, but it's only through, I think it's like 5 different licenses. It's really it's picking the winners and losers, right? And so if they're sitting there saying, hey, good old boy club, you're going to make millions, you're going to make millions, you're going to make millions, you're going to got this head start across the board in this industry before we maybe even turn it loose just a little bit. It's total fascism down here in terms of cannabis. So getting people to understand that, hey, listen, this isn't legislation. This isn't, this is just nullification straight up by an executive. It is extremely receptive. And I'll tell you, I don't like to, put people in categories or any of that kind of stuff. But, there was some remarks made by, what, they'll consider themselves the black community, the black male community at that. And they're just like, dude, Stacey doesn't speak for us just because she's black. And I'll tell you, I couldn't get behind Brian Kemp because that guy's busting people for cannabis all over the place. Yeah. So there's a segment that has been absolutely not represented, right? Like, those dudes are looking for alpha males. They're looking for dudes that are like, come try it, I dare you kind of guys to sit there and be like, hey guys, we want peace. We're asking you guys really nicely, just leave us alone. And I think in Georgia, we're well over 70%, even with Republicans that are like, yeah, cannabis is medicine. Cannabis is part, of economies everywhere else. What are we doing? So full legalization, but really more or less just a recognition of rights is, the path that we're trying to blaze down here.
Right on. Phobes in the chat says, play the whole exchange. It gets better. LOL. I don't remember. Does it get better, Shane? I mean, if there is a clip where I cut it off too soon, I didn't make like super tight notes for endpoints or anything, but if it gets better at some, just like, right, if there's there, something though,
he hit
ridiculous.
Like the spiritual tip, the natural tip, the industry tip, local economy, the law and order, the what it's doing to community. It's just, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a consumer and an activist for cannabis, dude, that's what, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And we also don't have Shane for all day. So we're going to make him sit and watch himself talk for a little bit longer, but we can't play the whole debate here. If you want to watch the whole debate, you might be able to find it because YouTube, it seems to be hard to find the actual full thing. It seems like it cuts in at certain points and there's a lot of little clips and stuff. I don't know why. Maybe they're trying to keep you from seeing parts of it. I don't know.
I'll tell you, there's some good stuff on Twitter out there, and I think one of the best parts, and it was something that I've been waiting 2 years to do, was go out there with Brian. When I got to ask Brian a question, the entire exchange between the two of us was just one of those where I felt like I was taking a kid to the woodshed, and like, minus the violence, but to really like drag him in front of everybody. And just be like, hey, man, yeah, here's your question after, I beat you up quite a bit for what you did in 2020. And then to just have that moment where there was no self-reflection. It was that that moment where, the question was, man, are you sorry? You want to make an apology? You want to say sorry to anybody out there for what you did in 2020? And I think it's super telling.
Stop spoiling it, Shane.
Absolutely none.
Stop spoiling.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
I was filling your time. That's all I was doing.
No, you're doing your job. Now let's listen to you say it again on a stage.
Thank you. Shane Hazel, please ask your question to Brian Kemp.
Brian, in 2020, on April 2nd, you locked down Georgia, threatening peaceful people with force and coercion. You called people in Georgia non-essential, and it killed millions of jobs. You bent the knee to Big Pharma and pushed a vaccine that was untested on people, and it has killed people. They have lost their loved ones. You've allowed bureaucracy to invade our businesses. And then you had the audacity to brag about record tax revenue. You want to say sorry to anybody?
So is that a question, or?
That is a question. Do you want to say sorry to anybody?
Well, look, I'll be glad to talk about my record because obviously Mr. Hazel is gravely mistaken. If you look at the executive orders that I signed, we said every business in Georgia was essential. There was a few that we asked to help us stop the spread, flatten the curve, build PPE supplies and hospital bed capacities. Because unlike him, I was getting the calls from hospitals saying, hey, we are out of surgical gowns. We're out of masks. We need ventilators. And we were literally working 24/7 to supply those items while also keeping our economy open in this state. And as you know, I was the first state to open the small parts that we asked to close, and our recovery's been as good as any state in the country. We have had 2 records.
Now, I don't want to be mean or anything, but he just sounds dumb when he opens his mouth to say the thing that is like the most important thing right now.
It's like the best Al Gore impression I've heard in a really long time.
Shane, I'm sure they didn't give you a chance to rebut this, so go ahead.
Oh no, I actually did, but I mean, right in a back-to-back 2 sentences, he says, "We didn't close the state, and then we were the first to reopen," and you're just like, "Oh, you make like you can't do this."
Oh God,
like, you're crushed, and he is, man. I mean, I don't know why he likes that corn suit so much, that blue colored thing,
right?
And he just But like he just gets up there and it sounds like you're dragging a pot and pan down the damn road and blah blah blah, and you're just like.
Like if you just lull your viewers to sleep, then they won't realize the stupidity that you're saying. But I guess you did respond here. Let's see.
Years of economic development because of our business environment, working with the General Assembly to make sure that we're putting Georgians first and Georgia businesses and Georgia workers first, and that's what I'm committed to continuing to do.
30 seconds, Mr. Hazel.
You should have put Georgia freedom first, period. You didn't have the power to lock down businesses, and you signed the executive order on April 2nd. It was clear as day. I sat there and watched you do it, and I was like, there is no coming back from this. The idea that the default was to lock down Georgia instead of trusting Georgians with their freedom to adapt in a time of very changing circumstances, I think is a tyrant move, and I think the left and right are fascist and communist socialists, whereas we're talking about real liberty, trusting Georgians with those decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Hazel. Brian Kemp, you have the fun.
Who cares what you have to say, Brian Kemp? You've got nothing on that, I assure you. I'm very confident.
That's some Matrix breaking shit,
his,
dude.
Oh man, it felt good. Yeah, 2 years, 2020, I think, is when I decided. Right when he said that, I was like, well, maybe I'm running for governor next because this asshole needs a check. And boy, I'll tell you what, to come full circle and ask him, oh, this is going to be your default is tyranny. Like when the chips are down, fuck you, dude. Like you're going to pay for this one.
Dude, just getting that, being able to have that moment, just to tell off your own governor, nobody has that opportunity almost ever. I would pay, $5,000 and run a campaign just to get on stage on a national stage and tell them to fuck off. Like it's worth it. Done. Game over.
You got to be ready for it, though, right? Man, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Delay.
No, you go ahead, man. I've been talking. I mean, to be able to get up there in front of a live, captive, broadcasted internationally, I guess, type of event. Oh man, I guess maybe to hold that in your heart for 2 years, that might not be real healthy. But after that, like, Let's go.
Jack Casey's got a comment for you. I don't know if you can read that, Shane.
Among Us.
Well, maybe big balls. I'm very Irish.
It's all about the energy. It's not literal. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You're white. But yeah, let's move on. The next one I've got here is more. I think it's more on the COVID thing where I think this is where they're cutting you off and everything. This is where shit starts to go down, and this is where I started like really tuning in. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go, get them.
Revenue that we have because we've been open. If Stacey Abrams had been your governor over the last 4 years, you wouldn't have that excess revenue because she wanted the state to stay locked down and criticize me when I opened it back up. We have, in fact, been using this revenue, and will do so in the future, to do another income tax refund and put the money back in your pocket. We're also going to do a property tax relief grant one time that helps you with rising property values and rising property taxes that the counties are not rolling back.
Thank you very much.
If I may respond, because
30 seconds.
This is going to go back and forth between the Democrats and the Republicans. If they keep attacking each other, I'm going to say
we've got
this
to
as a
move on.
homeschooler.
Ms. Abrams,
Property
30
tax
seconds.
For
Mr. Hazel, you've got to move on.
We're not going to be excluded from this.
I'm not excluding you, but he did refer to her, so we are going to have her speak first.
You're going to take money and property from people that don't even attend your schools because they don't
Mr.
agree
Hazel,
with them.
we want to move on.
How dare you? How dare you talk over a black woman, sir? You skin-headed white motherfucker.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that was great. I can see how some like normal, maybe even some libertarians, but like people who normally watch debates would be off-put by you doing that, like making that scene of saying. But the thing is, like, it might be off-putting to some, but you bringing it up there just makes it more obvious when they keep doing it for the rest of the debate. You saying, you guys are going to not let me speak. And then they're like, I mean, otherwise, they would keep going back and forth between the two if you were polite Shane Hazel, button-up suit guy. They would keep going back and forth between the two, and they wouldn't have to acknowledge you, and nobody would even know that they're not acknowledging you because you're not even in the title of the debate.
Yeah, I explained to him early on before we took the stage, this was not my first rodeo with the Atlanta Press Club, and I was not going to sit around and let these two attack each other and not say anything. So it didn't come as a surprise. They tried to still do it, and to establish that very early on, I think it worked in our favor. So notes to anybody that's going to be on a debate stage: do not let the Republicans and Democrats just sit back and attack each other and say nothing. Say something in response to what they're saying. No matter what, you're in the debate, you're there, you got nothing but something to gain, unless you're a terrible speaker, I guess. And then don't get on the debate stage anyway.
Exactly.
And try to dominate it. Don't respond to these people and play in their realm. They're demons.
They're going to steamroll the shit out of you, so steamroll them first.
The Overton window must be fucking expanded, man. Like he said, you're fucking. Here's a socialist. Here's
shatter
a socialist.
that glass ceiling,
let me
white
tell
man.
You what, yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. Whoever's gonna do it, I don't care who shatters that motherfucker. Shatter it.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't take anything seriously. But no, that was great. Now this next one is continued more of you being heard, being listened to and respected.
There because of the public health emergency. And when that ends, they will lose health care, which will add more people who are on the streets unable to get health care. Under this governor, we've lost 6 hospitals. We have ambulance wait times that are excessive, and our people need relief, and they need their money back.
I would like to weigh in.
We want to give our panelists a chance to ask more questions. So, Chuck Williams, it is your turn to ask a question, Mr.
It's insane.
Governor, the Democrats have controlled the U.S. Senate for 2 years.
Just these stone cold bastards. I understand that that's their job, is to just keep it going no matter what you shout at them. And their job is to ignore you no matter what you shout at them. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. If I was a normie watching this, I'd be like, ooh, they're like, especially after the last time that you already established, these people are going to ignore this. They're going to shut me out of this. And they're just like, not only not responding to, like, they're not only not letting you speak, but they're not even like acknowledging that you have something to say on a very important topic. Like, why is there any topic that only 2 of the candidates get to weigh in on?
Well, and what a feckless group of people, like if you're on the panel and you're asking questions, wouldn't I, as just people, like, wouldn't you sit there and be like, hey man, like, I kind of want to hear what the third guy has to say on this matter instead of these two just attacking each other. Let's at least, we invited him here as a debate. Is he just a prop? Does it make us look like a better press? Or like, no, like, let's let him say something about this kind of stuff.
So this is how far.
Okay,
sorry, this is how far we've come from like what the function of the press is, right? Like their function is to report on the power structure and be a check on it, not run cover for it, not block out the middle guy. You know what I mean? Like that's the press club. It's just so crazy we've gotten to this point.
Yeah. Shane, what was the, like, how did you get into this debate? What was the threshold that you had to meet, or the, whatever, the hurdles that you had to jump to get in?
I will give the Atlanta Press Club some credit. I've run 3 times, and I've been invited every single time to the Atlanta Press Club debate. They invite everybody. There's some different treatment behind the scenes. Like when you get there, you're not going to a green room. You're going to this, where they film things in a studio that's just black walls. It's just this very blank canvas, right? And there's maybe a table with a couple of like water bottles on it, and that's about it. Whereas these guys all get, their green rooms, they get all their staff, they get, whoever they need to bring down for something like this. And you get like 2 people and that's it. And you're just like, what the hell? Like the difference, for guys that don't give a shit about odds, right? Like then you go in there and you're like, cool, treat us like a piece of shit. I'm going to go out here and absolutely put it in my fire and I'm going to burn you down with it. Just stoke it. Keep bringing it to me. So, it's more or less to present the press as this fair beacon when in reality they're using you as a prop to, I guess, kind of paint a narrative that's not actually true.
Yeah, we need a Shane Hazel shirt that's Shane's head on Han Solo's body and it says "Never tell me the odds." I've got ideas. Anyway, so that was another of your ignoring, and now we have, where are we at now? Oh, this one is going into you on guns, calling out Stacey Abrams, but this might be actually, because I'm a child, this might be my favorite part of the entire debate, leading up to you calling her out.
Told an audience that he didn't want to upset investors by giving local authorities control over.
That's
Mr.
it.
Hazel
That's my favorite part of the debate right there.
Out who can't get access to health care, in part because they're not fully covered by VA benefits and will only get health insurance if we expand Medicaid. We have seniors who are being forced out of their homes because this governor refuses to address the.
What you're going to see is her getting cut off and her brain immediately goes to mush, and then she chipmunks out in just trying to regain her consciousness, because that's the endurance level of these individuals.
Issue of housing crises. In fact, he told an audience that he didn't want to upset investors by giving local authorities control.
I don't know what that is, but I'm going to clip that and make it my ringtone because anyway, yes, because I'm a child, that's my favorite part, and that's the only reason. Now, here's the real part.
I want to give each one of them a chance to answer Jennifer's question. Shane Hazel.
The biggest problem facing us is the economy. But to quote the great Rothbard, the man who puts all the guns and all of the decision-making power into the hands of a central government and then says, limit yourself, is he truly the impractical utopian? The idea that the economy isn't the biggest problem that we have in Georgia is because people don't understand economics. These guys don't understand economics from Republicans or Democrats, or else we wouldn't be in the hole that we're in terms of trillions and trillions of dollars. What we need to do is get back to basics, Austrian economics, where we get rid of this cancer that has invaded every transaction that we have through a fiat currency system, creating freedom for everybody in Georgia is the default position. Not more government, not more programs, not more policies, not more point at the barrel of a gun, force and coercion. It is freedom.
All right. Brian Kemp, your answer to the question.
Shut up, Brian. Nobody cares what you have to say. At least nobody here does.
Oh, man.
Some
I don't know.
freedom
I think
is
that guy kind of
fine,
knows
but
what
I
he's
just
talking about.
think.
What, Dave?
Sorry. Well, some freedom
Go ahead,
is
Dave.
fine, I suppose. I just think that maybe.
I mean, is there such thing as too much freedom? Because I don't want to be too, free. Yeah, I literally don't have words. Like, I can only praise you so much, and every single answer is just so gold, man. Like, good job.
Thank you, Ron Paul.
A+.
Yeah. No, really. Thank you, Ron Paul. Thank you, Murray Rothbard. Thank you, Tom Woods, Bob Murphy, and Dave Smith, and you guys and everybody else that does this, because without exposure and open minds and ideas, like Ron Paul said, man, when an idea's time has come, there is not a army on earth that can stop it. And this is the power of that message. I mean, you look at the guys that were, in their late teens, early 20s, back when Ron Paul was, being, done the same way. And here we are, man. And it's just like, okay, you guys think you could do that back then? Like, we didn't have the podcasting ability. We didn't have the social media outreach. We didn't have, maybe a career and money and all that kind of stuff where we could do this kind of stuff. Like, now that we're able to do this, these ideas are burning the fuck out of these guys. And it is just glorious, man. It's I don't know, just lucky enough to be a recipient of an idea once upon a time. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Now, I said that was the one on guns. Obviously, that was the one on economics, because whatever. But nobody noticed, I'm sure. But the on the economic stuff, what has been kind of your experience on your campaign trail as far as, like, when you bring up economics, are people receptive to it? Because I feel like to a normal person that's not steeped into this autistic stuff, it'd be like, well, the problem is an economics problem. Brain shuts off, brain goes to mush, don't want to hear about it.
It has been surprisingly well received. And by surprisingly, you can't be too smart about economics. And if you think you're going to scare people off, you're not. People are going to go, holy shit, that guy actually knows economics. And he knows it in a way that those people over there lie about. So when I get into, the Rothbards and the Mises and the Hayeks and, start suggesting books and talk about, boom bust cycle and the saleability of money over time, space, and scales and all this other kind of stuff, where a lot of people, will get a blue screen of death because they think that, economics is boring. People are super tuned into this kind of stuff right now because they want to know there's hope for the work that they've done, the savings that they've made, the time and effort that they've put in to securing a future. And right now they don't see any of that with the current system. For a guy to be able to bring them some hope and some light to say, hey, listen, this is what's happening. And this is a perfect time for you to learn something that they've told you is complicated, and it's not complicated. So to be able to point them to the books, be able to point them to the Mises Institute, be able to point them to the Mises Caucus, be able to point them in all of these directions, and they are just, like, they're scribbling, they're punching it into their notes, they're sending me text messages so I can send them all the things that we talked about. This is a critical piece. Don't be scared of it. In terms of talking economics for people, because people want to hear people that have economics figured out right now so that they can make better decisions with their lives, with their time, their most valuable asset. And like I said, don't shy away from it. If you got to give it to them in smaller bites, like little birds, so that they don't throw it up and run away, okay. But if you got somebody who's voracious, man, feed that guy until you see he's full. And then, hey, call me when you're ready for more.
Absolutely, man. I love it. And Shane, I know you got to get going here pretty soon. To the people do you need to go now? Because you can if you need to. We'll watch you talk when you're gone still.
Keep going. We'll keep this going. I'll make a text. I love you guys too much.
Okay. Guys, in the chats, more importantly than watching the clips, because we can do that with or without Shane, if you guys have any questions for Shane, drop them in the chats, and maybe we'll get to a couple of those. Just put super chat, all caps, question for Shane, if you have them. If not, no big. But otherwise, we'll watch a couple more. Here's the actual time that Shane called out Stacey Abrams on guns.
Your rebuttal, Governor Kemp, Shane Hazel,
Thank you
may
very much.
respond to this question.
You keep going back to guns, Stacey, and I think it's going to be your undoing here in Georgia. Georgia, we're going to have less and less gun laws, whether it's under Republicans or Libertarians. Libertarians don't believe in any gun laws. We believe that you know how to best protect you and your property. And the biggest mass murderer in history is government. It's not private citizens. Most private citizens, like I said before, go throughout their day without doing any harm to anybody. However, the people in the government with all of the guns still go after people with a badge when they shouldn't have to. In Holly Springs, Georgia, I introduced the Helios Initiative, where we got rid of civil asset forfeiture. It was a one-page bill through decentralization, nullification, using the Constitution that made the officers in Holly Springs safer because they don't have to go out there and they don't have to harass people of color while driving while black. They don't have to go out there and look for...
To clarify, he's using her words against her because she said that earlier, not because he's calling her out for being black. I just think this clipped out of context might seem problematic that you're turning to a black woman and saying shooting people for being black. Anyway, carrying on.
Drugs. They don't have to go out there and do any of these things because civil asset forfeiture is also the government stealing more than criminals, hardened criminals, from anybody and everybody in the state of Georgia.
Thank you. Governor Kemp, 30 seconds.
Hell yes. Hell
Goddamn.
yes. Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a master class. That's what it is. Everybody take note. I'm telling you, that is how it's done. Dominate them. You can't, I don't think, I've seen lots of, not lots, but, I think that to play within their realm is a mistake. Like every single time you get the mic, you have to shatter the paradigm. Every single time. And when they don't give it to you, take it. You know what I mean? It's beautiful, dude.
We do have a fake super chat for Shane in the chats from Nathan Klein, and he says, fake super chat. What do you use to carry around those huge balls around? That's what he said.
I've had my back reworked twice this year. If it tells you anything, maybe it's not worth it. I don't know.
Shane's got to get stints put in his back or whatever, just to support.
Hold him up.
Is there any sort of, have you looked into any sort of device that maybe straps around your neck, takes a little bit of the load off, like an underbra?
a ball reduction after all this is over.
That's
right, maybe
yeah.
That's what I need. A little less testosterone.
Go fund me for a ball reduction surgery.
Just get one of them removed, and you'll just have one giant pendulum swinging down there.
Make life so much easier.
That's right. All right, this next one is Shane on schools.
Get 45 seconds.
Your question raises a lot of interesting points. A lot of these teachers, like my own wife, has left the profession of teaching to homeschool, to go to private school, to do something outside of this narrative where admin from the federal government and the state government is forcing them to teach things they don't want to teach to test. They can't stand the administration who makes six figures. It is bloated. It is absolutely gotten out of control. We need to nullify property tax. We need to let people get out of the system. We need to allow the private sector to work, because before education was put under the thumb of government here, we had some of the brightest, most well-read people in the entire world, and that's what we need to bring back.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say?
Who is that guy up there, man? I mean, okay,
hell yeah, dude.
Oh man, I think these guys have they've gotten so comfortable with spending everybody else's money, and they don't really consider that they're really affecting people's lives.
Right.
That absolutely disagree with them, who are peaceful, and it's really weird that they don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I mean, the school stuff is part of the silver lining of COVID, is that, what you're talking about is upsetting the status quo. The status quo has been in effect for our entire lives as far as schools go. It's just what you do. But the status quo was, shaken up a lot by force through COVID, when people had to actually pay attention to their kids all of a sudden. And now, prime time for bringing this type of stuff up with all the crazy shit that's going on in schools and all this stuff, like school choice, all that shit. Nailed it. Thank you. Beautiful. We do have it's not a super chat, but I'm going to let it slide. Hector Ruse earlier on came out swinging right out the gate. I think even before we started, and said it's too bad Dave Smith won't endorse Shane, but Shane doesn't need him anyway. So shots fired. Any thoughts, Shane?
Ooh. Oh, no, Dave actually said something very nice in the tweet the other day, is making us proud. And so, I love Dave. I love, listen, I got no hard feelings towards anybody. I just try to be that guy. I mean, look at me. I'm a damn hippie in the biggest way. I'm not into this, I'm not going to fight libertarians for the most part. I mean, unless they're doing criminal shit, like you don't hurt people, you don't take your stuff. Listen, everybody's got their own way of working on liberty. And trust me, I get it sometimes when you get to Dave's level, right? Like there's a lot you just don't see. There's shit I don't see at my tiny little level, right? It's just like, well, sometimes you don't see stuff and sometimes you do. And I appreciate everything. So, you know what?
I didn't know there was a debate that you were going to be in. I didn't know it was coming up. I didn't know it was happening. So, I'm not going to speak for Dave, but not all this stuff is that, it's not always noticeable. I don't know. Ask Dave. Dave, come on the show, you coward. Yeah. Debate Shane Hazel as to why you're not endorsing him. You piece of shit. There, is that what you guys were looking for? Is that the drama you wanted, Hector? Harley, Manifesto, fake super chat says abolish the 19th? Question mark.
Women voting? Is that 19th, right?
I'm not sure. Is it? I'm not going to speak for women. That's
I
Harley's.
can't do that.
Yeah. But Harley,
I want to be sexist.
This is one of those things that it's like a meme. People joke about that.
Right.
And just like Trump, like they will take you literally, but not seriously.
It's not a meme if a woman says it, though. Believe all women. Hashtag believe all women.
Are we allowed to disagree with them? I don't know the rules anymore. I don't think we are.
Her opinion, her choice. It is what it is. Her vote, her choice, too. You can repeal your own 19th Amendment, Harley.
or less power. I don't know either. I don't know what to do here.
I'm at a loss. Anyway, she says, yes, all day. We need more men to speak for us. All right. So there's that. Now let's get into Shane's closing here, and we'll wrap up and let him release him from hearing himself.
This is terrible. This is the worst part of the whole thing.
I thought it was a good. We've been, appraising you nonstop
it's like
for the last hour.
Of a roast. It's like,
Right.
Shane, you remember when you did that thing the other day? That was awesome.
Right. We gotta end on at least a slightly less triumphant moment. I mean, what you're saying is beautiful, but like I mentioned, you might have went on just a little bit too long.
You get the final 40-second closing statement.
Georgia, you are essential. We are in changing times. Technology, money, politics are all changing incredibly fast. As humans, our superpower is our ability to adapt to a changing world. This power to adapt, our passion and genius is unleashed when it is free. Free from tax, free from government and their lockdowns, free from government mandates, and free from force and coercion. You know best how to adapt and run your life, and that is your right to do so. It is time peaceful people were free to take on the challenges we face. Our message to the government is simple. It's time to leave peaceful people alone. If you believe the government is so damn essential,
we have to go. I'm sorry.
Stop robbing us at the point of a gun and compete.
That concludes our debate. We'd like to remind voters that.
Oh, man. Oh, man. No, it was great,
He started trying to read. He blew it.
No, it was great. And yeah, it would not surprise me at all if they did that on purpose. And it would surprise me if they didn't do that on purpose, quite frankly. Shane, I know you got to get going. I want to, if I was really dedicated to the bit, which I'm really fighting it here, I want to tell you to start giving your plugs and any final thoughts, and then I want to talk over you and cut you off before the end, but I'm not going to. Even though it would be very funny, I'm not going to.
That would be so... Please do it. I'm gonna
we can do a fake out, and you can give your stump speech, and I'll talk over you and cut you off when that's done. But I do want to get your actual final thoughts, and what were you trying to wrap up there, and anything else that you want to throw out there before you get out.
I will leave the debate, man. My thanks for the laughs in here, man. This has been spectacular. Thank you for the invite. You guys have always been hospitable and just great people.
Anytime,
so
man.
to call you guys friends and brothers, to receive the praise. Thank you a million times over. I'm going to plug Divide and Dominate again. Go out there. Pay the $5 and rent it, or $15 to support Jake Green, who came out here and did this documentary on his own dime in this liberty space, man. Like, we need guys like that. We need to support guys like that. And if you want to help me, you can go to radicalpod.com. I've got a show, obviously, and I do some things here and there. So outside of that, go support these guys and support everything that they're doing, because who knows, before long, Dave might be running for governor, and Dan, if we can get you to keep making all of this amazing content, oh my God.
I'm going to have to cut you out there, Shane. You're over time. I was just kidding. Thanks, man. You're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, for sure. And if you got to get going, you can get going. But thanks for being here.
Right.
Thanks for carrying the torch and carrying it louder than the vast majority of us have the ability to do. Applause all around. So
thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Love you guys. Peace.
Have a good one, man. All right. Well, now that the CIA plant is gone, we can talk about the real shit. Dave, I mean, were you buying any of that?
You know what? He could be the CIAest plant there ever was. I'll take that limited hangout for as long as it'll go, because
if that's what they're giving us. Great. They stepped it up from Sarwark,
you know
at least.
I mean?
Like, way
thanks
up.
for the lesson.
They're at least trying now. Good job, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you. Right. Exactly. Upgrade. We deserve it.
It's at least believable these days that
he's
a libertarian,
Mm-hmm.
So. No, Dave, do you want to take all the news and go over to the after party? Because I feel like jumping into anything else at this point would be kind of odd.
Yeah, give this
kind
one
of
to
odd.
Shane. Yeah, I agree.
This is yours, Shane. But we could sneak peek some things, like Jacob Hornberger talking about Alex Jones getting what he deserved. So yeah, there's going to be some more talking about libertarian stuff and other stuff over in the after party that is coming to you earlier than usual, because this show is supposed to be roughly an hour to an hour and a half long, and it's always about 3 hours long. So maybe we'll try it today and see how it feels. What do you think, Dave?
This is pretty historic. You say it often, but this might be the first time. It was a shorter show.
That's right. Let's see. Do we have any super chats before we go? Jack Casey says, Dave, absolutely. Leverage is everything. Now, the problem with reading the super chats later is that they don't make any sense because we don't know what you're talking about,
He's
Jack
talking
Casey.
about in your local LP, you leverage these motherfuckers, whatever you got. If it's a Republican power structure, you leverage them to make sure you're running liberty candidates that make them look stupid so that you can get something out of it, defend the guard or get somebody in their office or whatever. Get something out of these assholes.
Look at you, Dave, with the memory. Like that.
Yeah.
I would have never remembered that. So this is why
yeah.
This is why you're here. Maybe you'll remember this one too. Jack Casey also says, super chat, there's a lizard on the phone right now firing somebody for letting you on stage. That's to Shane. And by firing, I mean eating. Yes. That is accurate.
That applies at all points during that debate, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's see if we got anything else. Oh, Hector Roos says, fake super chat at Dave versus Goliath be Dave for Delaware. Will Dave versus Goliath be Dave for Delaware?
That's right. They'll keep chopping me down and I'll keep springing up.
That is
100 email accounts, bitches.
That is right. Now, in the after party, we're going to be talking about not only the Jacob Hornberger's shit take on Alex Jones, we're going to be talking about some COVID stuff, some Kanye stuff, some evil white people stuff. We're going to be talking about lots of things, some AOC stuff. Oh, some Ghislaine Maxwell stuff. She's a victim now. Meghan Markle is also a victim. Everyone's a victim. Let's go talk about all these elitist assholes and how we should feel sorry for them over in the after party. Dave, thank you for being here on this third Wednesday of the month. I guess that's what we're doing from now on because this is what it's been for a while.
I like it.
Always, you're welcome here. Pretty much, like any week that you want to hop on, just feel free to. You've got the link. But tell everybody any final thoughts you have and where they can find you and if you're on Twitter these days.
Yeah, well, first, dude, I love being on the show and hanging out with you, and it's always special. But especially today, man, I really wanted to say thank you to Shane and kind of bro down for a minute, and that was just an extra added bonus. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, check me out on Twitter. I'm back. I'm in the wings. Goliath will fall. We'll keep running it back. Bye.
That's right.
Also, find Dave versus Goliath on TikTok. I've been crushing it on there lately. I only got three things up. That's Thank you. This show was missing that soundbite.
I was looking for a place to use it. I didn't know if it fit with
Catch
Shane
me on TikTok and Nancy Fick.
That's right.
Yeah, get on there. And you need to get on there, dropping some 60-second, 3-minute content, dude. You'll love it.
Yes.
I know, dude. Trust me. You would. I'm telling you, it's like the Wild West. There's nobody on there doing shit, and you would just crush it in 24 hours.
Guys in the chats, should I do TikTok, or would that like make me gay or something? I don't know how it works. Would that make me a Chinese communist? I don't know. One's in the chats if you want me to go on TikTok. But
so that's the important one. Yeah, go to TikTok. But I'm also Dave versus Goliath on YouTube. Subscribe there. Odyssey, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
But TikTok.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for making my life better, and simultaneously, I feel like you're pushing me in bad directions. So, whatever. Thanks for being here either way, and we'll see you on the other side. To all of you in the chats, and all of you watching, and all of you listening in the future, thank you for doing that thing for free, for absolutely free. But you did dedicate your time, and time is money. But more time means more money, so you have to pay for it. Go to patreon.com/thesystemsdown. Sign up for the Downers Club right now for as little as $1 a month will get you into the live stream of the after party, and then $5 will get you all the backlog, all the content that we've done for the Downers Club. So get over there and join us as we keep this party going and getting, I would say, much more uncomfortable, most likely. But there was something that I was going to say about something else, and now it's gone from my brain, so it wasn't important enough to remember. That's how brains work. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Go support Shane. Go check out his documentary. If you can only afford one amount of extra spending this month, go get Shane's documentary. Join the Downers Club next month. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll be here. But go get his documentary. Support him. Support his campaign and all that stuff, because he is doing the thing. He's doing the thing that we always say we want somebody to do, and somebody's doing it. So go help him do the thing. And tomorrow morning, 2 scoops, I'm pretty sure, 7 o'clock, Break the Bell, his show on his channel and stuff. We'll be there talking about probably some of the things that we don't get to today. But be there and join us in the after party, and I've talked enough. So I don't even know if this outro card is correct. It probably isn't, but it doesn't matter. Thanks for watching. Question everything. Stay uncomfortable. See you next time. Bye.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. GoulashMedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.